Yo, welcome everybody to Basement Radio. My name is Jake. This is
Tilo,
and what are we gonna talk about today, bro?
we are going to get into the Josh Gordon reinstatement and Le'Veon Bell appealing his suspension and possibly looking at what they hold at fantasy value today. So where you should draft them, or at least our opinions on where you should draft them, and what they're going to bring to your table. What are they going to bring to your team? So let's get started with Le'Veon Bell. There's a lot to talk about there.
Let's kick it off. Okay, so Le'Veon Bell got a 4-game suspension for not appearing at a drug test. Apparently, he said his phone number was disconnected, or
he said he changed his phone number, so he didn't get the notification that he had a drug test. So he was not aware of it. And he says that he has a great chance of winning this appeal. To me, even if he did change his number, there's more ways to get in contact for people to find out that they have a drug test. I gotta think. At this level, you're either gonna know about it, from your agent if you change your number, your agent's gonna have your number. So there's gonna be a way for you to find out.
there's no need to miss a drug test,
No.
and for him to just be like, oh, well, my number got changed, blah blah blah, but
But,
you know.
and like we were saying, you're a professional athlete. You have to be able to carry yourself as a professional. You're a huge star in the NFL. You're a role model for kids growing up playing football. You have to make sure that you are on top of your A game at all times. A lot of these guys, they take advantage of it. They know that they're in the league and they can kind of basically walk on water, per se. And I disagree with it. I think you have to be responsible and go about yourself in a professional manner on and off the field. And not only does this hurt the Steelers, even though they still have a good running back in DeAngelo Williams to carry the load for 4 games. He did well last year, especially in fantasy. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. And you want to be able to be there for all your team's games and make sure that you guys have a best chance at winning the Super Bowl.
Well, not only that, you want to be there for your team, but the team is depending on you to be there. All right, every site I go to for information, it's got a damn video on it. I apologize. But, that's your job, You're there to play football. They pay you millions of dollars. It's absolutely uncalled for that you're missing a drug test.
Absolutely.
To, maybe you were doing something, maybe you weren't. But that puts Pittsburgh, a winning franchise. We can say that they're a winning franchise.
Absolutely.
6 Super Bowls,
more than
legendary players going down the line. But that team, if you've ever been to Pittsburgh, they bleed yellow and black, for sure. Well, every team that they have is yellow and black.
Exactly.
So, and this really hurts the town of Pittsburgh, and I'm sure that their fans are going to stand behind him, but they're also, I would be a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed.
Well, yeah, I know you're a big fan of Le'Veon Bell.
I am a big fan of Le'Veon Bell.
You have been. And that's the great thing. He says here that, my true loyal fans are going to come out and support me, basically, and haters are going to hate, which, okay, you're right. People are going to be upset that, you're not going to be on the field for 4 games. But if he wins the suspension, he's quote unquote saying, I'm going to win the appeal. People have no idea what happened, but don't worry. My loyal fans are going to stay true to me, and I appreciate you guys. So there's that. And John Clayton, excuse me.
Bless you.
John Clayton goes on and tells us how he can win. Le'Veon Bell does have a chance to maybe get out of his suspension if the drug tester didn't make good contact to schedule his test. So, in that sense, yes. If someone is not communicating properly to schedule the date, time, where you need to be, when you need to be there, then that's not necessarily on Le'Veon Bell either. And if
No,
he
it's
did
not.
change his number, let's say he changed his number a month ago, and yet they had his old number on. There's going to be that old number is going to be either disconnected or someone else is going to have it. So you need to try and communicate to bring that guy in. So let's say that's the case, and he wins the appeal. He's still a first round pick in fantasy. You think?
I think he's still a first round pick, absolutely for sure. If he wins the appeal, I think that I think he has grounds to get it. How the NFL handles it, we'll find out. I mean, this is a developing story. It's only a developing story so much because of the fantasy implications, but also the team itself losing Martavius Bryant and
Martavius
a
Bryant
lot of
and
key players.
last year Le'Veon Bell was suspended for first 4 games too.
Exactly.
So he's a repeat offender, kind of. So that's a red flag right there. But they have to.
But as far as fantasy wise, to answer your question, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
But as far as fantasy wise, I still think with the 4 game suspension, he's not a first round, but he's definitely a contender late second, third round.
Let's late second, early third. I like that. That's a good pick.
Late second, early third.
Well, because you're missing him for 4 games, and you could easily sit him on your bench for the first 4 games.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you could, and there's plenty of running backs out there that can fill the.
And I feel like this year's gonna be a little bit more. It's gonna be deeper at running back, fantasy wise.
Yeah.
So I think you can easily. Plus, if you have a flex position, right, you can play either tight end, running back, or wide receiver. That's great. If you have those positions, 2 running backs and a flex, you can easily draft 2 top quality running backs to hold you out for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, you don't have to draft another running back. You can save that room for a wide receiver and a tight end to put into your flex position. There's not very many tight ends out there that you're going to play 2 tight ends at once.
So he still has value.
He still has great value.
Still has fantasy value.
But he's after those 4 games, he's gonna have to show he can play the rest of the season instead of getting hurt.
It would absolutely. He would be the best running back. He could be one of the best running backs of all time, but he has a problem with just not
off-field issues.
Yeah.
We'll just say off-field issues.
Off-field issues. It's a good way of putting it. It's a very good way of putting it. If he can get away from the suspensions and stay healthy.
Well, we don't know exactly what happened here. He could be telling the truth, and I don't want to accuse anybody of him actually doing the drugs, and he just I'm gonna make this excuse that way I don't actually get to test, then get cleared up, and then go take a test and win my appeal. Blah blah blah. However it happens.
Exactly.
But I don't want to accuse him of doing drugs because I don't know the backstory. And I believe that everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So, I really do hope he wins his appeal. I really hope this is the situation. He's a fun player to watch. He's great to have in fantasy, especially in PPR league because he can catch the ball out of the backfield. So I think this will be a story to kind of keep in touch on and know what's going on, especially for you fantasy players out there. Make sure you know what's going on. There's too many times where fantasy drafts are way too early, and people draft somebody and then something happens. Like last year, I think Tom Brady was allegedly suspended for the first 4 weeks. Like this year, somebody drafted him late, got him at a steal late, and then the next day after our draft, they said that he wasn't suspended anymore. Somebody drafted him late, got him at a steal.
Sorry.
So, I mean, there's stuff like that happens. So make sure you guys are keeping up on the stories.
Right
especially
now
with
is the time to do the homework too, for
Yeah.
sure.
Training camps are starting this week.
Is it this week or
It's
is it
this
next
week.
week?
It is this week.
All right, cool. We
This
need to do
week.
an episode where we go down there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna try and go to Denver Broncos training camp in Eaglewood, and
Sub Valley.
see if we can get in there and do maybe not a live episode, but an episode nonetheless, and
A little video.
a little video and post on our YouTube channel here. So
Likes and dislikes of it.
keep your eyes out for that. Training camp goes for
To
open training camp.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
So probably next week. Looking more at next week than anything.
Moving on to the next controversy that's going on this week. I would say it's a controversy, but we don't really have a lot of information. But Ezekiel Elliott's alleged domestic violence.
To me, it's a little suspicious.
It's very suspect to me too. Like
But
I mean,
I think it's more suspicious to me on the girl's part. Why come out now?
exactly.
Why come out now?
That's what I'm saying
And-
too.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like okay.
I thought you were maybe thinking it's a little suspect for Ezekiel Elliott.
No, it's
I-
like okay, he gets in the NFL now. Let me post all these pictures
Yeah.
saying that he's abusing me.
exactly.
You know, why now all of a sudden come out with that? If you know, we
I
don't
just
know
spell
the
his name.
circumstances. We don't know these players, you know, personally or anything
No.
like that. It just seems a little suspect to me. That's all I'm saying.
It's
And it hurts him too, because like
it hurts his reputation, and it's really unfair to him. Let's see
the
here.
problem is those things stay with you, even
But-
if he didn't get isn't.
Who's to say she's not some con artist out there trying to make a quick buck? You
Yeah.
know, he just signed a multi-million-dollar deal
Exactly
at the number 4 pick overall in the draft, and she's now posting photos. How long ago is
Yeah,
she
who's-
saying this happened?
Who says that this didn't happen years ago?
Right? And why didn't it come up then? Why is it only coming up now?
Exactly. That happens all the time with college too. Like, oh, so and so abused me, but down the road, that's when they want to, hearsay it. And I just, it's wrong. I'm not condoning hurting a woman by any means, but if you're hurt by a man, then you need to say something right away.
Well,
You don't sit there and wait. You need to say something right away.
well, and the police report says, I guess, saying that due to conflicting reports from witnesses, that they couldn't arrest Ezekiel Elliott, but she was referred to the prosecutor's office anyways. Like, to me, that issue, it's just maybe he did and maybe he didn't. You know,
I don't think
maybe
anything's gonna happen to him.
I don't think so either. And I
Other
could
than-
go out. I could go out easily and take pictures and say I got abused by my girlfriend or whatever. She hit me with a pipe. I didn't do anything. They're not going to believe me.
Exactly.
But when it comes to being a female and this whole domestic violence thing between male and female, it's a huge deal. Just after the Ray Rice thing, it has been a huge deal, and the NFL wants no part of it, and they want to try and crack down on it. And I respect that. I absolutely do. Any man that hits a woman should be, punished at some point.
Oh, for sure.
At some point.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but to me, why now? Why is it coming out now?
And maybe it did happen. Now we don't know.
Let's see.
I
Let's
just
see.
I just feel like
they
the
don't
way
have
that
any
it was,
dates.
the way that it came out, is very suspect. And if there was really any hard evidence,
I agree.
he'd be in serious
When
trouble
was
right
this?
now.
This was Friday. Friday at 10:20 a.m. TMZ is reporting that they have obtained a copy of the police report detailing Elliott's alleged assault of Thompson, the ex-girlfriend.
And why is it always the Cowboys? The Cowboys, man, the Cowboys just have this reputation right now.
I don't know.
Just-
I don't know if it's
bad.
necessarily the Cowboys. It's more the players that they may be trying to. They may be trying to help give a second chance to, And
maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I always
But
feel like there's something.
this whole
going
domestic
on.
violence thing,
Maybe it's
it
publicity.
streams all the way down
Yeah.
It streams all the way down in football. There's college players doing it, obviously. There's pro players doing it, and it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing that needs to be more more of these players need to be taking anger management maybe, or just brought up to be, hey, just because you're a football player doesn't mean you can't respect a woman.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of it too is the colleges don't necessarily prepare them for all that.
no,
You know what I mean? Like colleges kind of, they let them do what they want to do, kind of sort of thing. I'm sure there's some colleges and some coaches that have some really strict rules.
yeah,
And we
absolutely.
touched a little bit about Alabama in that sort of sense, but I feel like they get away with certain things in college, and then they become a star football
Well,
player and think that they can get away with the same thing, but they're under the microscope a lot more, and
yeah,
it's the
well,
entire nation.
let me take it a step further or step back, I guess. It starts in high school when these kids are the star of their high school team, and they're heavily recruited. Joe Mixon, and I'm a diehard Oklahoma Sooner fan. I mean, I'll probably die in OU, casket or something.
Crimson, just
Crimson Cream OU, Boomer Sooner, baby. But I, this kid was elect before he even got to campus, was uh, charged with domestic violence on his girlfriend, and he was either in high school or just out of high school, and so he's he got suspended for a year, his whole freshman year, and he was suspended. Now this year, after last year, he played great season. He was doing everything right, making sure he's going to class, doing all the right things that he needs to do. Now this year, that girl is suing him, and it's like maybe she was trying to sue him before. We don't know, but the timing of these things, I think, need to be a little bit more, prompt. Need to be right there and then. And I get it. Some of these girls are scared. They're scared to report it. I get that. And the best thing I think is just go get it, and try to have faith in the justice system. But I also think that some of these come out, like the Ezekiel Elliott one, comes out a little
suspect.
suspect. The
Absolutely.
timing's suspect. Timing's suspect.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
So-
What it now, as far as fantasy value on him with this situation, knowing that
Right now, they have him
I mean-
going in the first round. And I think they have him as the second or no, the fourth running back. The fourth running back ranked. And he's easily going in the first, but with 4 game suspension looming, he could possibly be suspended for
is
4
it
games.
looming though?
Yeah.
Or is
Absolutely.
I mean, because like we said, Le'Veon Bell's already got it. Now he's appealing. I don't. If they can't bring a case, I don't think he gets the suspension. I don't think they can.
Well, the case might even go over into next year, and even through that, if they're carrying the case over into next year, he may not even be suspended this year. So let's look at it a couple different ways here. Let's say he gets suspended. Okay, let's see how many games. I think it was 4.
4 seems to be
has
the
messages
number
saved
for
on his
these.
phone proving his ex-girlfriend is trying to set him up. So, so that's what we were just saying. This guy's saying that Ezekiel Elliott has messages saved on his phone proving his ex-girlfriend is trying to set him up. So there's that. Let's just say, it goes the wrong way for him. He's suspended for 4 games. I would say once again, I would say he goes later than Le'Veon Bell, who we were saying high second, early third. Or for Ezekiel Elliott's case, I would say late third, early fourth.
Okay, I like that. I like late third, early fourth, just because. Well, one, he's a rookie.
One, he's a rookie. You don't know what he's
Yeah.
going to do. I mean, they do have that great offensive line, but also look how many running backs they have.
Yeah.
And they're pairing
I think
Darren McFadden,
McFadden-
Alfred Morris. Everybody's going to get their touches.
McFadden, I think, will play good this year. He had a strong year last year.
Yeah, he did.
You
And
know,
actually,
I'm
he
not.
proved that he can kind of be a little bit more durable.
He
I
was
think he did get hurt near the end.
he did, but he was a solid number 2 for a good few weeks
Yeah, absolutely.
on your fantasy team.
Yeah,
You know, you had like because you probably picked him up late because nobody was wanting him,
exactly.
and one
Worried.
because Randall was playing ahead of him at the time.
Exactly. Well, and he didn't come to Dallas until like mid-season or something like that. A little late in the season, I believe.
He didn't start playing until
Yeah.
midseason. He was there all year.
Okay. But he was either hurt. I think he was hurt before,
Well,
and then
Randall was playing,
that too.
and Randall got hurt, and
Well,
then
that guy's a
McFadden.
mess, man.
Yeah, I had high hopes for him too, but you know that's a topic for another podcast. But so I like McFadden as a number 2. I like Ezekiel Elliott could be a number 1.
Right now, I like
Running
McFadden
back
as
on
a
team.
flex, a nice flex player.
He could be a flex in a jam.
At running back 2, there's too many other running backs out there that you could have at number 2. Let's say Ezekiel Elliott. I would say Ezekiel Elliott's probably more 1-2 slot. So, and then you got 32 teams with a starting running back. I mean, I would say Darren McFadden's could be a 2 depending on the bye weeks, and more likely a flex player.
Yeah.
So
Okay. What else we got going?
we got Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon
He got reinstated.
reinstated, but still suspended for the first 4 games. So if Josh Gordon
Wow.
is anything like what he was, then he's gonna be a stud. And then his value at that point, if he's anything like he was, he'll be, I would say, a 3rd, 4th rounder.
So many
But you got to think
suspensions
too.
right now.
There is a lot of 4-game suspensions. But you got to think RG3 and Gordon played at Baylor together.
Okay.
So now they're playing in Cleveland together. Can they rekindle that chemistry that they had? Can Josh Gordon go off? Is he in football shape? There's so many questions that you got to worry about this guy.
Who's the other Cleveland guy that was killing it
Last year, Travis Benjamin.
Travis Benjamin.
But he is no longer in Cleveland. He's in San Diego.
Okay.
So,
but
good luck to Travis Benjamin playing Broncos 2 times a year with that secondary. Good luck, bud.
So now we have situations where players going maybe 1, 2 are now going probably 3 or 4, maybe even 5. You're talking Tom Brady, Josh Gordon.
I still think Tom Brady goes high, though.
You know, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they will in some leagues, but now you're getting to a point where your 1-2 round, it's like,
Well, the
there's
first
that
4
rookie,
weeks, too.
There's that second year player, that would be my number 4 rounder, possibly could be my number 2 now.
Yes.
So I mean, there's a whole lot of
great thing about
fantasy
this
draft stuff
as you want to get
happening.
You want to get great value. You don't want to waste maybe a 3rd, 4th round pick on Josh Gordon when there might be someone like.
And we haven't even got into injuries yet, neither.
Let's just say Emmanuel Sanders is still there around 3-4. Granted, there's a new quarterback in town. Not even sure if we're gonna. The offense is set up to run more than anything for that Denver Broncos offense, or maybe there's Baldwin still available. Guys that are still available at rounds 3 and 4. But if you pick Josh Gordon, after 4 weeks, he's going to produce for you. But you don't know that. So I
With
take
Phillip
that.
Rivers, I think he will.
No, Josh Gordon is not in San Diego. Travis Benjamin's in San Diego. Josh Gordon's
but still,
in
RG3
Cleveland.
can still throw it.
Yeah. But you got to think, is he in football shape?
Yeah.
Is he going to have the same chemistry with RG3? I mean, is he going to be able to learn the offense quick enough?
The suspensions mean they can practice. They just can't play.
But a lot goes into the suspensions, though. Because Tom Brady's suspension rules are he can't be at team films, like watching game film. He can't be practicing. He can't do this. He can't do
That's
that.
because this Tom Brady thing's been going around for like the last 2
Yeah,
years.
but that's what I'm saying. There's
So
certain
like you
rules
said,
to
there's
different suspensions.
more going
There's
into it.
certain rules to different suspensions.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, if there's a Doug Baldwin, Emmanuel Sanders, or let's see, what's another? Maybe even Eric Decker or Brandon Marshall. I think Brandon Marshall's going to go a little higher. So, but if Eric Decker's there, or Mike Evans might be even there in that 3-4 range, I'm going to probably pick them before I pick Josh Gordon.
Probably, yeah.
I'm going to wait on Josh Gordon because I'm not sure. I may not even pick him. If he's there maybe 6-7, and I'm looking at another wide receiver, I might take a risk. But I might take a risk at 6-7. But anything after that, then I call it value. Eight and down, I call it value.
Another fantasy hurt to kind of switch topics here, to save time. Greg Jennings?
Well, I think I had him last year.
Retired, right?
Retired.
So
Congratulations on Greg Jennings on a great 10-year career, man. You made a name for yourself. You won a Super Bowl with Green Bay. So congratulations on a successful career.
It's a great career.
Little shorter than I expected, but great nonetheless.
Yeah, but with that concussion syndrome stuff,
exactly.
How long do you?
Well, and you got players now that are spending 2-3 years in the league and retiring.
Yeah.
So.
But he was such a key fantasy player. Now he
wasn't last year.
No, but people picked him up.
Yeah,
for sure. Flex, whatever kind of player.
A player that if you need somebody, you had a lot of wide receivers on bye week or something.
You might get lucky and get a game out of him, 20, 30 points.
That's PPR league too, 20, 30 points. We're not getting crazy here on standard leagues. So
PPR is the only way.
PPR is what we play, and that's probably what we'll stick with.
That auction league, though, I haven't done one of those before.
Auction leagues, man, that's a business. That's a business for sure.
Man.
That is a business.
I've never tried one. I wonder how well I'd do. Anyway, so he's retired. That was in the news, NFL news. What other NFL news is going on?
Well, we got a couple things, but we're going to save that for 10-minute misconduct.
That one thing that we'll talk about a little later, but...
right now, I wanted to talk about the PUP list.
Okay, let's hit that up.
So let's see. Right now, what do we got here? We got Suggs and Permian on the Ravens. It's on the PUP list. And these are players that can still still go to, team workouts. They can go to team meetings, and really take advantage of the training and medical staffs there. So it's really guys that can still be around and sit around, be with the team, but they cannot practice with the team. So, and obviously if you're physically unable to perform, then you shouldn't be practicing anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, J.J. Watt is on the PUP list, and Jordy Nelson is on the PUP list. So that's what I'm saying.
Jared Cook, too.
Jared Cook for Green Bay as well. You got the list up there?
I got some people. Julian Edelman.
Can you bring it up? Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola, I believe, is on there. So 2 quick slot receivers for Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's out for the first 4 weeks anyways. So Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to find some connection with some depth at that wide receiver position. Jordy Nelson, though, I really want to talk about that.
Yeah, go back to Jordy Nelson.
Let
me pull it up.
I like the guy. I really do. He's a great wide receiver, great deep threat, big for fantasy. And I honestly hope that this isn't a setback. This is just a guy in the right direction, and hopefully he can come back and be a stud again. What do you think? Are you thinking that maybe?
Oh, I want Jordy to do well. I really do. I want Jordy to be the powerhouse player that he once was.
Well, and honestly, that's gonna help Green Bay's offense flourish. They have that deep threat. They didn't really have that
The
deep threat
problem
last
I
year.
think so much is that they rely on him
A
so
lot.
much, and sometimes pressure gets to you
Yeah,
into a
absolutely.
player
And
to
I think
be
maybe that's
to
why they brought
perform.
in a couple like Jared Cook, who's also on the list. But you got to think a lot of these times with the pup list, it's just right now they're just not where they need to be to practice. And so they're giving them a little extra time. It's nothing serious. They may not even miss any regular season games. So it's sometimes it's not huge, sometimes it is huge. So we're gonna look up the pup list right now and see what kind of impact these players are gonna have.
If it even has it.
It should. I mean, it might
It's
have.
it's broken.
It's broken down
It's
into
broken down to
teams.
every team. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's look at
Let's go
let's
down.
yeah, we go down the list.
The Flacco's on there. That's first
No,
big
it
name.
doesn't include
No,
Joe.
it doesn't include. Okay, I was wondering. Did I see Anquan Bolden?
Anquan Bolden signed with Detroit today. If anybody, we'll talk about that here in a second.
Okay, but he's not on the pub list.
No, he's not on the pup list. Go down to. So we talked about Jordy Nelson. We think that go down to that one. See how long he may be out for. Let's get a better estimate on this here.
Jordy.
So he's just not practicing when camp opens. Does it say how long he'll be out for? Number 6, tight end. Another wide receiver, Ty
Welcome to Style
Montgomery.
Made Simple. Top the latest on trend.
Every time I go to ESPN,
Yeah,
they've
they
got
play.
to play a commercial.
Um,
Can't look anything
well,
up.
I don't know, but I think if he's out for any time, it's Green Bay did win games without him, and they can do it again. Aaron Rodgers is unreal quarterback, so they have hope. They have Randall Cobb. They have players that can fill in. Eddie Lacy's cut down a lot of weight, so they're going to be a team to still be. As long as they have Aaron Rodgers thread the needle, they're still a dangerous team. Hopefully, Jordy Nelson's not too far out from game time, but we will definitely keep an eye on that. J.J. Watt is also on the pup list.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Garoppolo.
Yeah,
What about him?
he's on it. Pat's pup list trims target for
I don't think he's on it.
Pettigrew.
It's the top two receivers, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola is what we said.
Suggs.
Are
Pierman. Wilkerson. We've talked about Wilkerson.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not on the pup list.
Darren McFadden. As we just talked about Darren McFadden. Brandon LaFell. That's kind of bad news. Victor Cruz and no, they're avoiding the pup list.
Well, I'm just gonna let him keep talking because he don't want to hear anything from me.
All right, go ahead.
No, you're good. Keep going. Who else is on the list?
That's all I got right now.
All right. So let's. Who are the most impactful players on there right now? Let's talk about impact here.
Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz. This is his last chance. I think if he doesn't perform, if he can't get on the field this year, they definitely cut ties with him and possibly even cut ties with him after training camp before the regular season starts. Because they drafted Sterling Shepard, another OU player, represent, who's a clone, basically, of Victor Cruz. Great hands, great route running, and he'll be great in that slot receiver position with Odell Beckham on the outside. So, J.J. Watt is on the list.
J.J. Watt's huge. Let's talk about that. J.J. Watt.
Well, he had back surgery, so
Okay.
it's just hopefully it's minor. I gotta imagine J.J. Watt's gonna do everything he can to be back on the
I think
field.
J.J. Watt would be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be?
First day.
He wouldn't have gotten the surgery if he wasn't
No.
going to be able to play.
Well, probably.
He wouldn't have.
He's still gonna be able to play.
He would have
He's
got
gonna be
the
able to play.
surgery, but he got it knowing that he'd be able to play.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, J.J. Watt's gonna do everything in his power. He's make sure he stays in shape, eats the right things, and you know is always exercising, doing what he needs to do to get back out on the field and be in game shape. So I believe he will be out there week 1. So that'll be interesting to see how well he comes back from that surgery too. You know, you've seen DeMarcus Ware, and he's had a lot of back issues. Granted, DeMarcus Ware's a little bit older, but if he has those back issues already, you know, is it going to slow him down any?
Right.
Is it going to hold him out of any games like it did DeMarcus Ware? There's a lot of things that go into that with the back, so hopefully it's a quick fix, and he can come back out. Because I love watching J.J. Watt play. I love watching him play.
I would hate to play against
I'd
him.
hate to play against him, absolutely.
Would hate to play against him.
And we play against him week 7. I say we as in Broncos fans. So it was herniated disc.
Where at?
I believe it's here.
I believe so. Watch out, Brock Osweiler.
Sideline him for the start of training camp. He could make a return to the field in 8 weeks. Noted that his recovery could take as long as 10 weeks. So anyways, he could hit the field right at week 1, and they're saying he may not even be 100% at that time. But even if he's less than 100%, his 75% is better than half the guys in the league at that position. So he's still going to be able to make an impact there. I look forward to watching him do that and get back on the field.
Anybody on the list that we don't think is going to make it back to playing for week 1?
Let's see, who you got again?
I had it. Jordy, impact players, J.J. Watt.
What is this? My phone's acting up here.
Jalen Ramsey. He's actually in.
Jalen Ramsey's a rookie. So that's interesting.
Jacksonville general manager said.
I honestly think, and I hate to keep coming back to this, but I don't think Jordy Nelson's going to be ready week 1.
I don't think he's going to be ready week 1 either.
So
if he comes back in the season, that'll be a success.
Well, he'll come back. I think he'll come back.
Yeah.
But
I hope he has some success.
And I hope he comes back and has actually has a good season. I'm worried that he might be slowed down a little bit, but let's just hope that these players come back for their careers. We always hope for the best. We never hope player stays injured or anything like that or gets injured.
Falcons released Devin Hester.
Yep, I saw that this morning. That was on Victor Cruz was in the same article, but I read an article about like maybe top 25 players that could be cut from each team, and he was on there, so it wasn't quite a surprise for me. I thought it was a little early maybe, but he is 33 years old. They're trying to make way for probably younger guys, and maybe they have a kick returner in mind. So Devin Hester is one of the greatest of all time to return any kickoffs, punt returns, stuff like that. And it's he hasn't really been on the field much as a wide receiver, and that's kind of what he wanted to do. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets picked up anywhere else, anybody who needs that specific special teams player to, run back kicks, and can he still do it at a high level? That's key too. So, one of the things I want to talk about, and you got it right there in the background, Jets and Fitzpatrick. I know this has been a developing story for a long time. We've touched on it a little bit throughout our episodes, and I think it's crucial. I think it's crucial that if Jets want any chance of making the playoffs, and especially with Tom Brady out the first 4 weeks in their division, they have a good chance to at least get a lead in the division to unseat the Patriots. They need to do what they need to do to get Ryan Fitzpatrick signed. Geno Smith,
It says they signed him. Or
no,
they haven't.
They have not signed him.
Okay.
But I saw it was on Twitter or Instagram. I saw that Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall were hanging out. Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker love Ryan Fitzpatrick. They love his poise. They love playing with the guy.
Well, they should. They got so many.
And they even held out of
dang
OTAs.
catches.
They held out of OTAs until they were going to sign Fitzpatrick, and they still haven't. And right now they have 3 quarterbacks. They have Geno Smith, Christian Hackenberg, who they drafted this year, which was kind of a surprise, and then Bryce Petty, who they drafted last year from Baylor. And I got to think, if they sign, which they should, Jets should sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, Bryce Petty is going to be the one let go. Because Geno Smith is going to be at least a quality backup. He can go in there, he knows the offense, and that he's going to do what you ask of him. Christian Hackenberg is the quarterback of the future now that you drafted him. So that leaves out Bryce Petty. And he may not get picked up, but if the Jets want to have any chance to win this division, to go to the playoffs, they need to sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they need to do it now. I understand the money's got to be right, but with the way he played last year, and he's a smart man, like you said, and he's looking for that long-term security. And he's been place to place. He's been in Houston. He's been in Buffalo. He needs a place to where he can find a home and stay there for the rest of his career and be a quality starter.
He found a place that he's comfortable in. So, he worked well there. He did well for them. He played some amazing games for the Jets.
They even won in overtime against the Patriots last year. So he's a quality leader too. He's a good guy. The players like him. The players want to play for him, and that's huge. It's huge when you're coming to these kind of things. So I think it'll be interesting to see where that ends up. Let's see how much they're offering him. What are you looking at right now?
Don't worry about it.
Well, we're on a show here. Let's stay focused. Let's see here. Because I know he wanted somewhere around like $18 million a year.
I honestly, let's see, it makes they should add a little sweetener on the 3-year, $24 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right here too. And said make it 3 years, $30 million, or 2 years, $20 million. Basically, giving him $10 million a year. He's not a $15 million a year quarterback, is what they're saying. And honestly, maybe not. Maybe not.
It's the only place he's going to start. That's what the article says.
Yeah.
He's not a $15 million
I've
quarterback.
gone through this many times, just thinking it over. Who else is going to sign him? I mean, Denver tried to sign him, and then he was asking way too much. Once again. And I
think Denver could have offered him more if he'd done well, too. Because there was, you know,
They could have easily signed him
before
to.
Paxton Lynch,
Yeah,
they could have easily signed him and been happy with who they had,
yeah, absolutely.
right? And on contentions of uh him doing well could have led to a bigger contract.
Absolutely, yeah.
You
And
know,
that's the same with any player.
he just didn't play it right. You know, he thinks he's worth more than he is.
If he would have came
One
in,
season
if he
can't
would have came
make
in
it.
and been like, okay, I'll just take a 2-year contract, $10 million a year, whatever, make the money work, and then I'll prove myself, and then I'll get an extension. He could have done that. But he's like I said, he's been all over the place. He's been in Buffalo, he's been in Houston. I think he was at Cincinnati for a little bit, and now he's in New York. So I understand he wants that long-term stability, and it's just one of those things. At what point, who gives in first? If he's fine with not playing this year, which it could be a good possibility, and see what happens during people's training camp. Maybe a quarterback gets hurt, and he could sign somewhere else. Options are out there after training camp, I'm sure. So, but I think the smart move for him is to re-sign with the Jets because they're going to be a quality team this year. Quality team.
Well, not only is it hurting him, but it's hurting the team too. Because now, like you still got Brandon Marshall and Decker kind of not participating in the camp.
Well, they were not participating in
OTAs.
But
Tomato,
they're
tomato.
gonna be. Well, no, they're a little bit different. They're a little bit different. So,
Yeah,
training
still a
camp's
team.
different than OTAs.
It is different, but it's still part of the team function.
Yeah, it is. It is. But they're gonna show up for training camp.
Anyway, I think that he just needs to buckle down and be like, "Oh my God," buckle down and say, "Hey, um, what's the best that you can give me?" And then go from there.
Yeah.
Negotiate it up, but they need to get it done quick.
Training camp starts this week, so it'd be good for him to get back in there. All right. Well, where are we at on time here?
Let's do the 10-minute misconduct.
Alrighty.
Let's hit that off.
Oh man, I didn't mean to exit out of that.
I'll let you go into our 10-minute misconduct.
Are we starting?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's go ahead. I want to start with Randy Gregory, Nebraska guy, drafted in 2015 by the Cowboys. I think he was suspended last year as well, and seems to be having trouble this year as well. He's going in with some treatment, and
who is this kid?
Randy Gregory. He's a good player.
Football?
Yeah, highly scouted, and Cowboys drafted him in the second round, I believe, in 2015. Gregory tested positive at last year's NFL scouting combine. Gregory tested positive for marijuana, which put him in the league's drug program. Considered a first-round prospect out of Nebraska, he fell to the second round where the Cowboys selected him with the 60th overall pick. So I was right there. If he was suspended for 10 games, he would be out more than $350,000 of his $608,000 base salary this season. That's a lot of money for just a young kid. So Gregory played in 12 games as a rookie and did not record a sack. The biggest thing with him, he was supposed to be, a high motor guy, kind of like an outside linebacker, kind of like a Von Miller-esque kind of player, and he just never got on the field. And it's weird. You're right. You said this earlier. These Cowboys have a hard time with staying on the field. You got Rolando McClain.
Too much bad publicity.
You had who's the guy? Greg Hardy.
Des Bryant's always getting in trouble.
Des Bryant was getting in trouble last year. He got hurt, so good for him for trying to step up his game. And now you got Randy Gregory, who you spent a decently high pick on in the second round, you know, and yeah, he's underperforming. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. But hopefully this time this actually this helps him. Let's hope this helps him.
So he's going into treatment again. Well, not again, but he's going into treatment because
He's going into, and hopefully this will help him and stay on track, not only with drugs, but
it's just pot,
making sure
though,
that he's
right?
not, yeah. But see, we can say that here in Colorado.
Yeah, but
We can say, oh, it's just pot. But
I understand. But here's the thing with it, and they were talking about it on Outside the Lines. We can just say it's just pot, you know.
what I'm saying
But
is we can say it's just pot because we live in Colorado.
I understand that, but a lot of people are saying it's just pot around other parts of the country as well, because they don't test for, they test for illegal substances, but it doesn't come up because it doesn't stay in there as long. They choose to test for marijuana. The NFL chooses to test for marijuana,
Okay.
but it's not a performance enhancing.
No, but
Substance.
it's still a drug under the league's policy.
Yeah, a substance one or class A or whatever you want
So-
to call it, drug.
Whatever it is, even though it may be legal in some states, it's still illegal for the players to use it if you're in that, if you're in the NFL. It's in the contract. I understand it's just marijuana. It's no big deal. Sometimes people prefer it and can't handle it, you know. But rules are rules. Rules are rules.
Obviously, it's affecting his performance, but because he keeps not playing well.
Well, it's affecting his performance because he can't be on the field because of it. You see what I'm
He
saying?
said 0 sacks his rookie year.
You know, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're doing it and it's going to cause you to be suspended and miss games, your performance is going to go down because you're not in those games to perform.
Yeah. I think Dallas does a horrible job of who they draft, personally.
Easy. They just drafted Charles Tapper in the 4th round, who's a defensive end from Oklahoma. Great pick, by the way. Great pick.
We'll see.
Great pick.
We'll see. All right,
Anyways,
moving on.
moving on. Alden Smith. What do you got on that guy? What a character he
Alden
is.
Smith is. Oh my gosh, there's so much to say about this guy. One, has a drug and alcohol problem. Two, you do not go live on a site on your account and roll a marijuana cigarette and think it's okay and that you're gonna get away with it.
This guy, man, he had trouble. I think it was domestic abuse for one of them. He got in a fight at a nightclub. I think he also tried to fight Colin Kaepernick at one point. I mean, the guy is a mess.
He was supposed to go to alcohol rehab.
Yeah.
He went to alcohol rehab, came back and then got a DUI.
Yeah.
So the guy's a mess.
He's a very talented player. Very talented player.
Got paid millions of dollars and he just can't keep his stuff together.
I don't get it. And one of those things, at what point does a guy break down and be like, I need to get my shit together? I need to get on track with my life. I'm a professional athlete, and I only have a certain amount of years to play this sport before I retire. My body gives out, concussions maybe.
How many chances has this guy gotten, though? I feel like we're on the 5th strike right now.
Easily.
There's like 20 strikes, until the NFL decides to can you. But this guy's gotten so many chances, so many different teams.
Well, and they were saying after this one he may never play football again.
He might not.
He may never be in the NFL. Maybe not. I mean, he'll probably play, Turkey Bowl on Thanksgiving or something with his family, but
it goes down to exactly what we were talking about, Le'Veon Bell. You
gotta
are a
be
professional athlete under the microscope. Every time you do something, social media, whatever.
Well, and that's
you're,
what gets me.
Outside
how
of your
dumb
house.
are you to, like you said, how dumb are you to post it on social media?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, put the cameras away.
You have to be professional. You honestly, in my book, if I was Jack Del Rio, I'd be like, oh hell no, I don't want this guy. Let's get him out of the contract somehow.
I mean,
let's get some money and let's get a player in here that we could, that's actually going to contribute to the
If
team.
you look at their free agents, they got Alden Smith. If you look at their defensive line and guys that they picked up in free agency, Alden Smith, Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvine, Irvine, and one more. There was one more guy, but they got a scary defensive line now. They have some scary ends, and now he was part of that, and now he's not. The Raiders were an up and coming. I mean, I don't think it's going to affect them too much because you still have Khalil Mack, but Alden Smith could have been a product of that system.
If
Jack Del Rio would have let him loose.
Before this event even happened, if that name, if I'm a GM at a football team, and that name is brought up to me, I'm tossing it in the trash.
Yeah.
And this is before this incident happened. Just because on the plain stuff that he did in San Francisco, all that stuff that happened there, and that they tried to, and hands down to the San Francisco organization for trying to get him right. But they said enough's enough, and boom, they didn't want to re-sign him.
No.
So I mean, he's got that name, and now he just, not saying that it was in good status, but it's completely destroyed now.
Yeah. Well,
And
everybody has a reputation, and right now it's not looking good for Alden
and
Smith.
Oakland was trying to get in such good graces, like, oh, they're gonna be good. They've got some really good things going for them, and then this happens, and not only is Alden Smith's reputation in trouble, but also the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
Not as much, but yes.
But it depends on what they do from here. Right now, he's still with the Oakland Raiders, and he, as far as I know, is probably going to be suspended indefinitely, so we'll see how that goes. One more thing I wanted to talk about on 10-minute misconduct.
We got
I got a Ray Rice.
2 minutes.
You got Ray Rice. Oh, that'd be perfect. 2 minutes on Ray Rice here. All right. So he said he would donate his whole salary to charity if he gets a chance to play this year. I respect the guy. He's trying to do right from his wrongs, and this was the whole domestic abuse thing. He punched his fiance or whatever, and she's had his back. And tempers fly. Alcohol's probably involved. Things happen. I get that, but you never lay a hand on the woman, and we all saw the video. Do you think he deserves a chance back in the NFL to maybe make things right for himself, make things right for the community, and make things right for that subject, for that situation? If he's going to donate, what he said, he's going to donate his salary, and this isn't just about trying to prove wrong or anything. It's about trying to come back and play the game I love and prove to people that I've changed in the right ways.
I don't know if coming back to football is good enough.
No.
Donating a year's worth of salary, that's a lot of money.
It is, but at the same time, who's going to ask him to come play? I mean, who wants the guy that started this whole domestic abuse, domestic violence?
I don't think the NFL can do it. I don't think they will do it. Because, like you said, he was the whole reason behind the domestic abuse crackdown in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So him saying that, I don't think they give him the time of day. I really don't.
And to me, I don't agree with what he did, but I really hope that he might get a second chance and be able to prove people wrong.
Start doing stuff off the field, though.
He has.
You start showing. I'm just saying.
No, I know.
But start showing stuff off the field. Talking at seminars, doing what you gotta do. But then I think it's too soon. Too soon for him to come back.
All right.
And him donating money just makes our the American society saying that money can pay for anything. Oh, I paid my salary to get back in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to work for that. Just because you give up one year's contract.
See what he say here.
On your multi-million dollar that you've already earned.
All right. Well, we're done with 10-minute misconduct.
That was our 10-minute misconduct.
It's a
And
good one. Always something fun to talk about with these players being suspended. A few other things here. Peyton Manning cleared of HGH. Good for him. 7-month investigation. I'm sure that's a load off his chest. Another thing, NFL and the Players Association agree on stricter policies for concussion protocol, which I think is great. I think it's great. The NFL is trying to do right by players that have, gotten brain damage, and they're trying to make sure that these situations are handled that way. In the long run, these players can, are mentally stable and are not as effective. So, players, if anybody hears this, high school football players, hockey players, anybody who gets concussions, watch out. Make sure you take care of yourself and do the right things you need to do before you get back out there to play again. That is all I have, and I believe we are going to do another show this week.
yeah, we're
Maybe
gonna try Thursday.
try to do more of a get a little bit more into
Thursday show.
maybe the Olympics. Olympics are right around the corner here. Training camp, and probably talk a little bit more about fantasy and maybe do a mock draft or something
I'm sure
interesting like that.
some sort of news would be popping in.
Yeah, there's
What's gonna
always
happen.
news. Well, right now it's training camp. There's something gonna happen, so
Yep. Stay tuned.
stay tuned. This is Tilo signing out.
I'm Jake, and this has been Basement Floor Radio. Be sure to subscribe and like the video, as well as hit us up on Twitter at Basement Radio. That's been it for us for today. Look for us on Thursday morning. Y'all have a good day.